Whenever I do my personal finance class, the number one answer I get is I can't believe how much I was overspending on eating out, you know. And so those are the areas we want them to at least get some insight into, and then they can extrapolate that a little further when they get out and, you know, start adulting in the real world. I think it's hard for students initially to wrap their head around a budget, especially freshmen, because you're still kind of living, you know, off mom and dad a little bit, and that's fine. But these issues are forthcoming, and when you're out in the real world and college is done, you need to be able to effectively manage your cash. So it's the simple idea of just tracking where your cash goes every month, and you can see where it goes, and then from there you can make adjustments. The best thing you can do is set aside a certain percentage of your income each month. So I always throw out the 50-30-20 rule, which is, you know, 50% of your income goes towards necessities, so that, you know, that's rent and utilities. 30% is going to go towards the discretionary items, you know, entertainment, clothes, things you want to do, and 20% goes right towards your savings every month. That forces you to save a certain percentage each month instead of just waiting to see what's left over at the end of the month. And also, as your income grows, so will the amount that you save. And so I think that's always a good tip to start with. The 50-30-20 rule is always flexible. Okay, so if you're a bodybuilder, you're going to spend a lot more on food than the average person, so you can tweak those percentages as necessary. When I talk to my personal finance class, I always tell them, you know, here's what it looks like if you start investing right when you graduate until the time of retirement. And you can see the impact that the length of time has on investment. And I think it really opens students' eyes in terms of, wow, if I start sooner, the impact is much larger than if I wait 10 or 15 years and then start. One of the key things I always harp on is that if your employer does a 401k match, you always hit that target, right? That is free money for you. And so those are ways you can help sort of maximize your potential future retirement. You want to tackle that in a way that allows you to save but also pay down the debt faster. So what I recommend is paying more than the minimum on those. And federal student loans are great because there's a lot of different programs that they can offer you in terms of, you know, if you can't make your payments now or you're not making that much money, what can you do now? And so there's some great options in terms of that, what you can do with student loans. My best advice is, you know, pay more than the minimum. Pay them down quicker. The nice piece about student loans that most students don't know is there's a tax deductibility feature, at least up to a certain amount. So if you're going to have debt and invest in yourself, this is probably the best way to do it. So when it comes to the choice of do I invest or do I pay my student loans, the best answer I can say is try and do both. Okay, but if you can't do both, look at the interest rates. If you're paying 4 to 5% on your student loans, but you're going to expect 8 or 9% return on your investments, you have to weigh that off. Obviously, you have to make some payment on your student loans. You're not able to, you know, defer it indefinitely. So there is that piece. So you have to kind of do a little bit of cost-benefit analysis there. But again, I'm not a huge fan of being in debt, so I like to pay down the debt quickly if I can. But obviously, I don't condone foregoing your retirement just to pay down the student loans. Those early dollars really count for a lot. A lot of business students, and this semester I'm seeing a big influx of non-business students, which is great because they don't have the time value money background. They don't have any of the kind of general business background. So nursing students, HHPA, got the whole gamut, which is really great. And so I think this is good for especially seniors. It's good now, even if you're a freshman. I think it'll mean a lot more to you if you're a junior or senior. Or if you're doing this without parental support. So yeah, come take the class.